part two. Let's get into it. Last week we had a 400% print banger on Pan W. Let's just go over that real quick. PANW. If you missed out, I don't know what you were doing because we signaled this. Well, I guess I signaled this last week. But here at Next Era Trading, we are always looking for the best moves and the most potential profits. And I was talking about Pan W swinging in next week's for this high of the day break or high of the week. Actually, it might be all-time highs. Let's go to weekly chart real quick. Bam. Here is the resistance point that I was looking at around this 214, 213-ish area, and we did exactly that. The reason I took that and what we showed last time was this daily chart pop. I was looking for this rip and run on the daily. So we saw this pop and a little bit of a rejection. There was a lot more room left, and this little line right here was that weekly high, all-time highs. Figured if we start pushing above it again, which we did, got some consolidation here, added a few contracts, and boom, we printed. So I'm currently in a different trade right now, and I have not gone in full position yet just because it was the weekend, so I scaled into just a couple, but this was a banger, and I think this one is going to be a banger as well. Let's take a peek at Tesla, shall we? So this is the daily chart. Here are two key resistance points that I'm paying attention to. 217 is one of them, but most importantly, I think that one might be a little far-fetched. I'm kind of zooming in a little bit for this 208 retest. We had a massive breakout from this most recent high of 192, got to 198, not yet to 200. Now, the reason I think that we could have a pretty nice bounce on Tesla is one, that the tech sector is going insane, right? We have NVIDIA going insane, the semiconductor industry going crazy, and the QQQ is up very, very high, up to almost 350 now, on top of the TQQQ with some massive breakout candles going crazy. Some haters were talking about how this is a terrible buy when I started buying this around $20 and a little bit below, and they're very silent now. So let's talk about Tesla really quickly. I just started scaling into this position. I had a 20K day on Friday, and I'm looking to make this trade around another 10 to 20 to 15K, depending on how much risk I put into Tesla. So Tesla is my next swing trade. I haven't really been swing trading much lately because it's been pretty brutal out there in the stock market, but over the last week or two, we've been starting to get those moves that we haven't seen since 2020, 2021, in my opinion. So here is the breakout that I'm playing. I'm looking for this 208 retest above this 200. We all know Tesla can run, and when it runs, it soars. So we finally got some legs and some volume here. So I know that there's going to be a little bit of theta decay over the weekend from Memorial Day weekend, but we did get this massive breakout and a pullback. So if I can see around a 192 open, 190 open, maybe even a little bit of a gap up to like 195, this thing could consolidate a little bit, rip, and start to explode above that 200 level. If we can get above this 200 level, I know that the most recent high was this 198, and if we zoom in on the 1 hour chart, I usually love watching the 1 hour chart. We're sitting around 194 right now, but futures really haven't done much because of the holiday break, but we'll get a better sense of what's going to happen. But this is only a $4 move to this new high of 198.60. If we break this, we're going to 200 and above. So I'm currently in these contracts for Tesla for 2 weeks out. Just give myself some time, and some theta decay won't hit me. So this is June 9th expiration, and I'm looking at those 210 calls. They're a little further out of the money. If you want to be safer, buy less close to the money. I'll probably end up doing that if we don't completely run up tomorrow and Wednesday. I could always roll forward, sell them and then buy closer contracts. But by all means, I'm probably going to be risking a good amount of capital on this. But even if you just risk, let's see, these are 240 a piece right now. We're going to lose a little bit on theta. They could be worth about 200 tomorrow. I only have about 4 contracts right now. Oh, you can see the position. 4 contracts down here, down $29. Got them before close. And if this starts running, these could be worth anywhere between $700 and $800 in the money if we get to that 208 price that I'm forecasting. And even if it's not, we could get up to 200, and at 200, these will probably be worth about 475, 480. So realistically, this could pay over 110%. My goal is about 300%, 200%. That would be really nice. I'd probably start taking some profits off of like 150%, all that kind of stuff. So looking for that 200 test, and I might start trimming a little bit and maybe using some of that profit to day trade a little bit. But the trade here is 2 weeks out. I'm looking for a 200 test, maybe start to scale out. I'm probably going to buy some more right at open if I see some strength, because I think that we're going to retest that 198 if the market is not weak. Now, we did just agree on a debt ceiling being raised for, I don't even know the details, honestly, so that could spark the market a little bit, could pull it back. So it all depends on what the SPY and the QQQ do. We've been rallying for quite a while, so I know we're due for a nice little pullback at some point. But so far, we look really strong, and the volume on Friday was unbelievable at 94 million, which is right around that average that we haven't seen in a really long time. So I'm looking at this 240. I'm looking for these to go close to the money and be worth about $400 to $800 a piece, and I want to make my money. So I only have 4 right now. I'm looking to get about 20 to 25, maybe 30 contracts, and risk about 5 to 6,000. And if it goes about 300%, 200%, I'll lock in about 10 to 15K, which is about my target. So that's my next trade in Tesla. That's what I'm looking for. Stop loss below 188 probably, and then keep a max stop loss around like 25 to 30% on a swing trade. And I will not scale in if it's really, really weak at open. So this is what I'm watching. Keep in mind some of this strength. If you start to see it test above this 196 or 195, I'll set an alert here. My mark is 191.60. I'll probably add at 191.60, and then if I see anything below this 187, I'm going to create alert here, at or below, and then I would stop myself out. So got to make your stops real small before they break, but if we get to this 195, we could be off to the races, baby. So I'm setting an alert there above 195, and then I have an alert here at 191.60 to add for potentially a bounce, but if it doesn't bounce, then this is my stop loss of 187. So happy trading. Do your own due diligence. If you don't like the trade, don't take it. If you like it, do it, but do it at your own risk. So this is not financial advice, as always. These are just my analysis and my opinions. But PanW was the first trade that we took, and we printed. So let's see if we can break this most recent high from Friday, crack that 200, and head to that 208. 210s could go in the money very, very easily. So gave myself some time for next week expiration. You can always sell those and roll forward with some profit. Give yourself a little bit more time, or you could go closer to the money. This is just my play. This is my strategy. But hope that helps, and best of luck, everybody.